and welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine and I am a vet student in the UK. If you've come across this video, you're probably wondering, should you get an iPad as a student? Should you buy one for college, school, uni? And I'm here to tell you the pros and cons. So I would say that the main reason to get an iPad, one of the big pros, is the fact that you can have everything on your iPad, all your notes, and you no longer have to carry notebooks, binders, folders, any of that you would have previously had to. So in my previous degrees, I have so many notes. I still have them because for some reason I don't want to get rid of them because I think that I'm going to need them in the future. I know I never will, but I just can't shred them or can't get rid of them. But if I had my iPad then, I would have all those notes on an iPad and I can literally throw away all the paper. So that is one really good bonus of this iPad, because everything is stored on the iPad. Having the iPad also makes it very easy to search for notes. So let's think about it. You have a pile of notes on a topic and you're trying to look for a certain word or a certain sentence or paragraph that you remember writing notes about, but you're just flipping through all these papers and trying to find these notes. On the iPad, you don't have to do that because you can just search. Even if you've handwritten notes, if you put in the search bar, it will find those handwritten notes and the typed notes as well. So that's something that I really like about the iPad, because no matter when you've written that word or where you've written it, you can find it. You're easily able to edit notes. You can erase and rewrite any mistakes that you've made without it looking messy, compared to if you were handwriting on paper. So far all my pros have been to do with note taking, which is a big part of school, so it seems good to me. So another great thing about the iPad is when you have lectures, you know, sometimes at my school they upload the lectures beforehand. You can actually download them onto an app called GoodNotes or Notability, and you can import those into those apps, and then you can have the notes, the lecture notes, on your iPad, and then you can easily annotate them, highlight them, and just go through them while you're watching the lecture or while you're listening to the lecture. So that is a great bonus, because in my previous degree they used to give you handouts of the lectures and it was just a lot of paper. They've stopped doing that now, so I would have to print out the lectures if I didn't have the iPad, but because I have it, I don't have to do that. So that is really good. So due to COVID, my uni has allowed loads of textbooks to be downloaded, so you can actually have them online. But as I said before, with importing your lecture slides, you can also import these online textbooks, and that is so good because you can search for anything in that book, you can highlight it, and it's just great. There's no more need for stationery, even though I used to love having, or I still like having, highlighters, coloured pens, nice rulers, loads of notebooks and everything. I still like that, but it's just not practical to be carrying all that stuff to uni all the time when you could just have your iPad. And on the iPad you can have so many different types of paper. You can have squared paper, line paper, black paper, white paper. You can change the colours, and with the pen as well, you can change the pen stroke. You can make it thick, you can make it thin, you can make it in calligraphy writing, and you can change all the colours. You can have highlighters. There's so many things that you can do that there literally is no more need for stationery. Can you hear the birds? Also, all of your notes are stored on the iPad forever because it saves to the cloud, which you get when you use one of these apps that I mentioned before, so either GoodNotes or Notability. It's also great for if you're traveling, so if you're going to uni, if you're taking public transport, or if you're going on holiday when we're allowed, if you're on the plane and you need to do some revision, or you just want to catch up on some notes that you've written, you just take your iPad and you can do that instead of taking all your textbooks and all your notebooks and everything. So I think it's a really good tool to just have on the go. So it's like your phone, but better because it's bigger and you can write stuff and everything. I really like the split screen feature on the iPad, so you can have your lecture slides or your lecture notes, and then you can have another thing on the other screen, such as something on the internet. And you can also, so you can copy and paste pictures from the internet and put them into your notes document, or you can take it from anywhere else. Like if you're on another app, you can do the split screen and then you can just transfer from one to the other. So I think that's really helpful. Or if you're, I don't know, if you're listening to a lecture online and you want to do the notes at the same time, you can do the split screen. You can make the one side really tiny and one side really big, and then you can do that. I have the 10.2 inch 2019 iPad, which is called I think it's either called the basic iPad or the budget iPad, I don't know, one of those. But I actually think that is enough. You don't need to get the iPad Pro for everything that I've said in this video already. You can do all those things on the budget iPad. I think the only advantage of getting the iPad Pro is that it's slightly bigger and it has more storage. I couldn't really see any other advantages. I know there probably are, but it wasn't a big enough difference to go from, I don't know, £300 to £700. I didn't feel the need for that. So I really think that just having the normal iPad, you don't even need extra storage, because as I said, everything can be saved to the cloud, and if you're just using it as a student, then I don't think you need the iPad Pro. Okay, so let's move on to the cons. There aren't that many actually. I guess the major one is that it's expensive. So the prices can range from, I'll put them up on the screen because I cannot remember from the top of my head. And another con, this is also to do with pricing, because you will be tempted to buy all the accessories. So actually, even to do the stuff that I listed in the pros, you need to buy the Apple Pencil. So that's an extra cost. You're probably going to want to get the keyboard to go with the iPad, even though that turns it basically into a laptop. But yeah, you're going to want that. You're going to want the covers. Well, I guess if you get the keyboard, then that can basically double as a iPad cover. But if you don't get that, you're going to want to get a cover anyway. And I'm sure there's a few other things that you can get with the iPad. But I think the main things will be the pencil, the case, and the keyboard, which is great to have. So yeah, you'll be tempted to buy them. Another con is I don't think that the iPad can replace a laptop. So if you're deciding whether to buy a laptop or an iPad, I would say get a laptop, because the iPad is great as an add-on. The iPad is great to have as an electronic notebook, basically. But even if you do get the keyboard, which I got the keyboard, I don't think that you could write an essays, or you're doing research or any other stuff other than note-taking, because you know when you're doing research or you're writing the essay, you have so many tabs open. It's very annoying doing this on the iPad. It's just not the same as a laptop, so I wouldn't replace this. So it is doable to write an essay or do research on your iPad with a keyboard, but personally I wouldn't do that. I would always use my laptop. That's it for the cons. I'm sure other people might think of other cons, but I haven't had any other cons with my iPad. I love it and I think it's a great addition to use as a student. I would say that it's not a necessity, it's a bonus, a luxury, whatever you want to call it, to have the iPad, but I think it really does help with replacing the amount of papers and the amount of paper notes that you'll have while studying at uni. So in conclusion, I would say if you're able to buy the iPad, buy it. If you're thinking, I'm gonna have to scrape, or you'd rather use the money on something else and you already have a laptop, I would say you don't need to buy an iPad, but it is a great thing to have. So I'm not telling you to get an iPad, I'm not telling you not to get an iPad, I'm just letting you know what I think the pros and cons are. And I hope that helped you. Also, Apple do a student discount. I don't know if it's throughout the whole year or if it's just at the beginning of the year, but they do a student discount, and I think they also do a deal that you get free AirPods if you buy a laptop or an iPad from them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, could you please give me a like and subscribe if you want to, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!